Hey guys, what you're doing for lab today is on the next couple of slides here in Nearpod, I want you to practice drawing contour lines and then answering a handful of questions about it. What I want to do first with you is show you how to draw contour lines if you're not familiar. Start things off, there are four rules when it comes to drawing contour lines. First rule is the lines themselves connect points of equal value, and the whole point of the line is to separate out larger values from smaller values. You'll see what I mean in a second by that. Two, they can never touch or cross, ever. Three, lines can never actually end. They have to either run off the map or close in on themselves and form a loop, meaning you can't just end one in the middle of the map. It has to go all the way to the edges, whether it's the sides of the top and bottom, or it has to form a loop. And then number four, lines are almost always smooth and curving with few sharp angular turns. This means when you're doing it, you're drawing it, you want to be a little bit smooth as you're drawing it rather than just like connecting the dots or something, not doing a jagged thing. You're doing like a smooth line as you go. So for example, what I want to do with you is take this one here. Okay, so remember all these numbers here are feet in elevation. So these are elevation numbers. So imagine you're flying over this in a helicopter and you're looking down on the land, and these are the points of elevation that would be there. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw in the contour lines for them. Now we don't have the interval on this map. Let's just say that our interval is 5. Okay, we'll say it's 5 feet. So that means every 5 feet there should be another contour line. So the first thing that I want to do is do one that probably stands out the most to you. Okay, now you see our lowest number is 86 and our biggest one is 105. Okay, so we will do one for 90, 95, 100, and 105. So we'll do one for 90, 95, 100, and then there's only 105 on there, but we'll do it anyways. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is let's focus in on the 91. Okay. So I'm going to switch over to a highlighter here. And so I'm looking for the number. We're going to draw a line that represents the number 90. And you notice there are no number 90s on here. There's a 92, 96, and 98. There's no actual 90, right? So a really good thing to do when you have this kind of situation, actually I'll switch back to my pen, but I'll choose yellow, is to figure out where would 90 be? Well, if this is 86 and this is 92, somewhere 90 would exist in here, right? Maybe put an X right there. If this is 80 and this is 96, well, the number 90 exists somewhere in here. Put a mark. 90 does not exist between 96 and 101, but it does probably somewhere up here between the map edge and 96. Maybe put another X here, maybe put another one up here. That's probably it, right? And my step would be to now connect. Now this is where you take some creative license, all right? You don't know, it could start way over here and go up this way, or it could start way over here and go up this way. This is up to you. As long as you're doing kind of now connecting these dots, in which you're connecting these two numbers. Remember, this represents 90. So anywhere along this line would be equal to 90. So I have to go through this way up to here. I can't like go around the 101 because the number 90 would not exist between 96 and 101. And then, just again, take some creative license and have it end there. Again, had it start at one edge of the map, end on the other edge of the map. Let's do the other one. 95. I have 103, 92, 95 would exist somewhere in here. 88, 96, 95 would be closer to 96. 88, 100, 95 would be here. There'd be a 95 in here somewhere, because remember now this is 90 and 96, so 95 would be somewhere in here. 95 through here. And that looks to be it. So now we do the same kind of thing. Connecting your points that you made It's a little jangle. I know it should be smooth, guys. I'm doing it with my mouse. I'm going to switch over to my finger. Okay. Now if we do one for 100, here's 95 now, 103, so 100, 95 and 101, so there'd be 100 here, 96 and 105, so maybe 100 here. I actually have 100 right here, right? Well, it's actually this dot and this dot right here. That's perfect. So now I do this. And I form a loop like that, okay? And lastly, if I just choose a different color, I'll go back to red, 105. 105 would be its own kind of loop, something like that, okay? So that's one example of how to draw one. Here's another one. Let's go to another one. So here's another one. This one, all these numbers are elevation numbers. I wanted to point something out to you guys here, so I chose one with a stream. Here's my contour interval, and it says it's 5. Well, I'm not going to draw a whole lot of them, but I just want to point a couple of things out to you. You see, they drew it in for 70, 65, and 60. Each time, you see how they're V'ing, or kind of like doing a little bump as they cross the river. Now, rivers always flow downhill because of gravity. So this is the number 70. My number's down here in the 40s. So obviously this is a higher elevation, so they're going to go downhill to the lake. So my river is flowing in this direction. You can always tell the direction that a river is flowing by looking at the contour lines. Besides knowing that it goes downhill, if the contour lines are pointing up this way, rivers always flow the opposite way that it points. So as I draw a contour line, I have to do a little V like that. So let's quickly draw one for 55 and 50, and then we'll be done with this thing. So I'll pick another pen. I'll stick with red, and I'm going to do 55. Now you see, I'm going to actually highlight maybe this time instead to make it easier, and I'll highlight it in red. I have a 55, right? I have another 55 up here. That's perfect. Now, where else could 55 exist? This is where we need to kind of plan. 54, 57, 53, 57, somewhere in here and here. 56 and 53, so somewhere in here. 56 and 53, so somewhere in here. And now I would just connect those points. Now I would do something like this. When I get to the river, I just V up a little bit and go like that. Okay? And let's do one for 50. All right, I see I have 50 here, a 50 here, 50 here, and 50 here. Well, that's really nice, right? You can kind of probably just connect these points, but you got to be careful. You can't completely just go ahead and draw it across, because when you get to here, how am I going to find a way to connect these two 50s? I can't go around this way, because remember, this line I'm drawing represents the number 50, and I have 53 and 52, and that doesn't work. But I have to go through this way, right here, up through here, because 5248, 5247. So let me just switch back to my pen and do that. Point up, it's crossing the river, point upstream, and there we go. Okay, so for the remainder of, I don't think I have another, of this lab is going to be you guys looking at a handful of draw pages in which I'm going to ask you to draw some contour lines, and then a couple other questions itself. One more thing I do want to do before you guys go is go to this right here, showing you how to draw contour lines. Okay, for me to clear everything. And if I wanted to draw one that represented like the number 80, okay, I have a whole bunch of 80s down here, and I would try to connect them. So if I would connect an 80, I would go something like this. So an 80 here, through the 75 and the 85, through the 75 and the 83, and back down like that. Okay. If I wanted to draw the 71, well, here's a 70, there's a 70. How do I get to it? We'll go through this way to here, up between 65 and 75, down between 69 and 75, through here. It's kind of like you're like lassoing in or circling up the 70s. It should look something like that. And again, I can't do this as I go to the edge of the map. Now, let me see how I'm doing. See, I drew the 71. It's pretty good, right? They took some creative license there, right? That's the whole point. Not that bad. What about my 80? Did I do okay with that one? Yeah, see. All right, so that'll be it for the video. And hopefully you guys do okay with this lab. Ask me questions if you have them.